Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn how you could validate forms. So mostly while creating websites, when we have forms, we use JavaScript in order to validate the forms. So validation is nothing but we check if all the details in the forms have been correctly filled out by the user. So in this tutorial we are going to learn a simple example which kind of gives you an idea that how a form is validated. So in this tutorial we are going to validate a simple checkbox. So if you understood this tutorial, it would be easy for you to validate any of the element which is present in the form. So I am including only one element in this tutorial just for the sake of simplicity, so that it would be better for you to understand it in a more simple way. So let's go into the body tag and create a basic form which contains only a single checkbox. So let's type form, let's name it as, let's say, new form. And now let's give a closing tag for form. So we type /form, and inside it we want a simple input type. So we type input type equals, let's say, checkbox, and let's name this as, let's say we name it box. So the next thing which we are going to add is we are going to add a simple button which when clicked gives us an idea of whether the checkbox is clicked or not. So let's type input type equals button, and now let's assign a value to this. So the value is nothing but the text which pops up onto the button. Now once this button is clicked, we want to perform some action, so we add on click to it. So this on click specifies what action needs to be performed when the button is clicked. So we type on click equals, let's say we name a function as func1. So now let's go ahead and create our validation function. So let's go into the head tag and let's add a script tag to it so that we could write the JavaScript into it. So I just copy it from here and just paste it over here. So now let's create a new function called func1. So we type function func1, and also make sure that instead of just giving the function name, you also include a parentheses so that the onClick understands that this is a particular function. So we also add a parentheses here, and inside the function we write a simple JavaScript code in order to check if the checkbox is checked. So in order to check it, we use the if statement. So we type if. Now as we want to access the checkbox, we use document, as the checkbox is present onto the document, dot the form name, which is in this case new form, then the checkbox, and the name of the checkbox is box. So we type dot box, which gives access to the element box, and then in order to check if it is checked, we use the checked method. So we type dot check. So if the checkbox is checked, then this statement right here turns out to be true, and then we want to display an alert that the checkbox is checked. So we type if this is true, then alert that box is checked, or else we want to display an alert that the box is not checked. So we type else alert, and let's print out the text to be not checked. So now once we are done with this, we save the code, and I hope we don't have any errors in the code. So once we have saved the code, let's open it up in the web browser. So it is showing us the checkbox, and it is showing us a simple button, and when I click it, it is showing that the box is not checked. Now if I check the box and then if I click this button, it is going to show that the box is checked. So that's how you could access each and every form element, and that's how you could use some conditions in order to perform validation. So basically in this example, or in this tutorial, we have taken a simple example of creating a simple checkbox, and we have simply validated a single checkbox, but you could get the idea of how other elements of the form could be validated by using JavaScript. So basically in this tutorial we have created a simple form, and you make sure that you name your form even when you're creating websites, and that is because you need to access each and every element on the form so that that element could be validated. So once you have the form name with you, and once you have the basic form with you, the next thing which you do is you keep on adding elements so that it suits your requirement. Now in this case, for the purpose of understanding, we have used a simple single checkbox. So once we have this checkbox with us, we have also added a button, and we have specified the on click method so that when the button gets clicked, the function 1 gets called. Now the function here is being specified in the head tag. So this function1 is basically used in order to check if the checkbox is checked, and we have used the condition that if this thing turns out to be true, then the checkbox is checked, or else we have displayed that the checkbox is not checked. So I hope you understood this tutorial about how you could use JavaScript in order to validate forms. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.